The human brain is sometimes more active while you're sleeping than when you're awake. During sleep, especially in the rapid eye movement phase, your brain is busy processing memories, solving problems, and even sparking creativity. That's why sometimes after a good night's sleep, you might wake up with a solution to a problem you couldn't figure out the day before. Well, that wraps up today's edition of Internet Watch. Thanks for spending your time with me. I hope you found our stories as intriguing as I did. Remember to keep the conversation going online. Don't forget to take a break from the screen every now and then. Until next time, stay informed, stay entertained, and keep spreading those positive vibes. I'm Joshua Ritogu, signing off. Have an amazing day.
Great topics out of Internet Watch with Joshua Oritogood. I don't know what particular one caught your attention.
In the fact that, you could hear Nigerians saying the particular comment that says he's trying to imagine, or he thinks that the government or leaders have actually figured out the way to take money to the afterlife. Because you wonder how someone who is ebbing to 90, 100 is amassing so much wealth. What are you using it for? I thought legacy is about what you leave with your name, as in what you leave, not the money you've garnered. It's just something that I'm trying to get my head around it, and I'm very glad someone else is also on that same page. Charles, do you think there is a way you can spend money in the afterlife? It's part of.
I mean, I don't know if it's peculiar to Africa or Africans, because I think what has happened to us is the failure of our humanity, frankly speaking. Because an average white man would build things with that money. In case maybe they steal, they want to build something that would also affect humanity. But, we have leaders who steal and steal and steal for themselves, steal for their kids, steal for their kids' kids. Because, I mean, what are you going to be doing with 100 billion naira, for instance? Like, if you are to probably eat 1 billion per day, in 100 years, you won't be able to finish it. So who eats 1 billion in a day? So you wonder if we are even humans in the first place.
So I think one of the things scientists should
It's a beautiful day. Last week we had this report about a kidnapping story or incident in Oji River of Enugu State, where I had to hop on a bike to get to a medical health center, saying that he escaped the kidnappers den. That was how many people got to know that something fishy was happening in Oji River. We tracked down the story. We spoke to the Chief Security Officer of Oji River. Later, we got denials from the police, but went further into Oji River to bring you a little bit more about what went down. Chukwudi Maduako has that report.
The invasion of West Oji River community and Maitu area by a person suspected to be herdsmen has left the people in fear as to what will happen next. Students of the School of Health Technology, whose school is not far from the point where the attack took place, have deserted the school for safety. Besides the students, some other residents of the area have also fled to where they consider as safer places. The herdsmen who arrived the area Wednesday evening stormed the road leading to unfenced School of Health Technology, where they stopped a vehicle and abducted the 4 occupants. They later released one of the female occupants and her child and went into the bush with other victims. A victim, Kingsley Ihegazie, who was riding home on his motorcycle, ran into the abductors who dragged him into the bush. He narrated how he was hit with dangerous weapons before he was able to escape from his attackers.
I was on my way with my bike, so I stopped. My phone was ringing and I stopped. Then I was pressing the phone because there is someone I want to transfer some money to, and there was a bad network there. But when I was moving, then suddenly he called me and reminded me, and there is a full network then. So I decided to transfer the money immediately. There, I now stopped. This road is a free road where I used to move anytime, and it's a busy road. So when I stopped, I was trying to do the transfer. I saw one car in the front, and there is about 3 people surrounding that car with gun. So I thought it was a police people because one of them was wearing jacket, gun. So I thought it was police people trying to arrest people inside the car. So I was busy pressing my phone doing the transfer. So next thing, they now begin to shot gun, harassing gun. So before I could know what is happening, I now realized that it's not police. There's one woman inside that car carrying a baby, and 3 other people inside the car. So they now discharge the woman and now walk those 3 people inside the bush, 2 women and 1 man. So they move inside the bush. So when I noticed this thing, I now start my bike and turn in order to run. 4 people now block me with gun. So immediately I stopped. Next thing, 2 by 2 on my head. They now use 2 by 2 and bring me down. So they commanded me to enter inside bush. So I begin to drag with them. So if I move, then I would do like I see if something draw me and I fall down. So they use 2 by 2, continue to force me in order to move inside the bush. So blood, in fact, all my body, they'll use the 2 by 2 in order to hit me. So the way I managed to escape from these people is by God's grace.
Signature TV gathered that hours after the first incident, precisely around 10 p.m., another group of suspected headers also kidnapped a female pastor of the Optimum Faith International Worship Center near the Oji River Police Area Command. Some eyewitnesses who spoke on the incident said it was promptly reported to the Police Area Command, who referred them to the Divisional Police Station, also in Oji River.
That evening, she called me to ask me that she hope I'm not around because there's some things that's going on in the School of Health. And I told her I am not around, I'm in the house. So I said, okay. So a letter after that, somebody called me from the church and said I should come, that she was kidnapped with some people from the church, and the robbers came to her apprehend her from the church here. So that's what happened. So that evening, as we came, we moved down to the police station here. They said they have tried their best, which is area command station. They said they have tried their best, that she should go down to division. So I went down to division to make an entry about what happened. So me and his senior brother, we went to division to make entry. That's how I know about it.
It was around past 10, right? I was just resting on the sofa when my younger brother, the elder to our last born, she's our last born, called me on phone. She said, "What's happening?" I said, Father, I was devastated. So on Thursday, I came here and found out it was true.
About 5 of men just entered inside the church. So he started harassing everybody, even Madame. They dragged Madame inside the motor, push around, everybody run away. So even me, as I'm saying now, I run toward the back. Some of men follow the backyard, arrest me immediately. The Madame followed the other backyard, arrest the woman immediately. So 2 of us, we march us toward this forest. As we say, everybody hands up. We hands up, obey the people because they carry gun. When I want to hijack the one of them, they release the gun up. As they release the gun up, everybody fear. Because this one is not a settled matter again. When I wanted to follow the Madams, they started beating me. You look at my hand, you look at everything, even my back. So I have too much injury for my body now. I go in hospital, taking treatment. But what I'm saying now that the person beat me for my brain. The thing cost me head. My brain told me that's a mad person. I push that person that holding gun, follow me for back. When I drag the person, push the person back. Then I run inside the bush. Then they match. They shoot the gun inside that bush, but the gun not touch me.
Emmanuel Honora, an evangelist, said that the security situation in Oji River is getting worse by the day. He recalled that only weeks ago, a robbery incident by some armed men along the Oji River, Archie Road, left a lot of people wounded after they were dispossessed of their belongings.
Before this incident occurred, there was a time one of my friends was harmed on the road here, at least Archie. So one of my friends was harmed on the road. He said that some people met him. He was coming down that evening, and they used machete to machete one of his hands.
The chief security officer for Oji River, Onyi Nwokabia, who spoke to Signature TV in a telephone interview, said the council has put machinery in motion to ensure the release of the abducted persons. He said the forest guards from Oji River and neighboring local government areas are already combing the forest with a view to freeing them and apprehending the perpetrators. For now, the people are living in fear and appealing to both the local and state governments as well as the various security agencies to rise to the occasion and ensure the security of life and properties in the area. From Oji River, Enugu State, Chukwudi Madako for Signature TV.
Mr. Okechukwu Ani, Onungenoma of Ubuoka in Kano Local Government East. local government area of Enugu State, has accused the police in Enugu State of shielding some suspects allegedly involved in child trafficking. The petition dated August 5, 2024, addressed to the Inspector General of Police through their lawyer, Samuel Abazie. The family accused the Enugu State Police Command of setting free the suspects allegedly connected to the abduction and selling of their child. According to the lawyer, it is the case of our client. His son, Master Godwin Ani, was kidnapped by Mr. Peter Chidi Kaobi Igiri, was currently awaiting trial at the Enugu Custodial Center for Nigeria Correctional Services. In investigations, according to Mr. Peter, Chikaobi Igiri confessed that he sold Master Godwin Ani to one Mrs. Caroline Siani, who in turn sold the child to an unknown person. Mrs. Caroline Siani was released on bail upon arraignment, mainly because there was no evidence linking her to the crime, since she denied she did not have any dealings with Mr. Peter Chidi Akobi Igeri, was linking her to the crime, and also because of how highly connected she was allegedly. However, during the course of interrogation, it was discovered that Mr. Peter Chidi Akobi Igeri has maintained a business relationship as a kidnapping and child trafficking syndicate with Mrs. Caroline Siani, who together successfully sold countless children. After the release of Mr. Caroline Siani on bail, investigate a full report. A fire outbreak at the main line of Umbuka Obosi Market in Onitsha, Anambra State, has burned down 2 shops on Saturday. The Chief Fire Officer, Anambra Fire Service, Chukwudu Chiketa, who confirmed the incident in Onitsha on Saturday, said the Anambra Fire Service received a distress call at 2 p.m. of a fire outbreak at mainline Umbuka Obosi Market. They deployed immediately to the scene and the fire was contained. Chiketa said no life was lost, but 2 stores and a provision shop were burnt down, and the market attributed the cause of a fire outbreak to a surge. We're now going over to Monday, Chukwu Onwaju, to give us an inkling of what really transpired that day.
To copy this tune, press 1. A happy life can be without a measure of problems.
In Onitsha, Obosi Onitsha is here with us. Good afternoon and welcome to Signature TV Southeast News.
Good evening.
How are you today?
I'm very fine.
You were an eyewitness on Saturday when that ill-fated incident happened. Can you tell us what transpired?
Okay. It's Friday night against Saturday morning. Are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear. So
Friday night against Saturday morning. So we came out there and we saw what's happening. And about 6 shops there. Everything demolished with fire. And one brother there, his name is Fede, that his 2 shops is there, normal shop and parking store. 2 of them is involved. And the time he's saying what happened, he said that what caused it is an electricity. Do you hear me?
loud and clear. Monday,
Okay.
can we
Yes.
give an idea of the value of what was lost in terms of money?
Yes, like the owner of that 2 shops there, he's selling cosmetics and provision. And his 2 shops is about, what there is about, let's say, 7 million or 8 million for that 2 shops. And the other 4 shops, I can't give you the accurate, but the money there is too much.
But I thought there is this community effort at Umuka. So why was it that there were no efforts to put off the fire before it burnt down these shops?
Yes, it's an electricity. Nobody put that fire. Nobody come there and put the fire. The first is an electricity caused the fire.
Okay, so what would the market leaders do now for the man who lost so much?
They never say anything for now.
So when are we going to hear something from them? Hello, Monday.
If I get the information, I'll tell you.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you very much, Monday Awaji, for the information granted us. Thank you for coming on to Southeast News on Signature TV. Thank you for your time. It was devastating, the fire, especially for somebody who was looking forward to open his shop on a Saturday morning and do business, only for fire to burn down a warehouse and other shops in the early hours of that day. Very sad story. We just hope that government, and apart from the market community, that government would also intervene. One of the 3 contestants in the January 10th, 2021 President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo worldwide election, which took place in Owerri, Imo State capital, Dr. Valentine Iokumere Oparaocha, has called on Ohanaeze Ndigbo Electoral Committee to review the outcome of the exercise for fairness and justice, in which he claimed he was denied. Oparaocha, who said he came second in the contest, recalled that the former president, late George Obiozor, was disqualified on account of his age. But despite that, he, Obiozor, was cleared to stand for the election and even declared president of the Apex Igbo organization. Oparaocha also pointed out that after the death of Obiozor, the immediate past president, late Chief Emmanuel Iwanyao, was never part of the election or participated in the contest, was handed over the leadership of Ohanaeze Ndigbo for reasons best known to those behind the scheme. In a process letter to Ohanaeze Ndigbo Electoral Committee's headquarters in Enugu State, titled Petition for Review of 2021 President General Election and Reclamation of Mandate, Oparaocha argued that for peace to reign, it is still the tenure of Imo State, for the stool has not expired, and it will be a great honor done to him and Imo State if he is allowed to pilot the affairs of a group to complete the tenure. Let's now go to Abia State. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has declared that his party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, will produce the next governor of Abia State. Kanu insisted that Alex Oti, who is the current governor of Abia State under the platform of Labour Party, would not be re-elected. Kalu said that this will be the last time that a Labour Party governor will be in charge of Abia State. According to him, he said that Oti has done well compared to other state governors, but he emphasized that Abia will be governed by APC in 2027. Concerning what will happen in the election in 2027, that Labour Party will no longer be returned or re-elected. What is your response to that?
Well, my dear, the Deputy Speaker of the Federal House of Rep made an overstatement on that, because he's not God and he's not the electorate. He's undermining God. God made him to be there. God made the governor of Abia State to be here, And it's the people, it's the electorate that decides who will govern them. And the Labour Party, as a party in Abia State, is doing marvelously well. The people in Abia State are happy with His Excellency for over 24 years. What they have recorded has not been achieved within 1 year, a year. And so I don't know where he's driving his power for saying that on 2037 that his Labour will not return his this. I mean, it's an overstatement anyway to me, and underrating God.
So is Labour Party doing anything to ensure that they can at least satisfy the yearnings of the people in terms of welfare of the people and projects?
It's the people, like I said earlier on, it's the people, and when we get to the bridge, it is early to start to talk of 2027. It is what he's trying to do is to try to divert the attention of the Labour Party from what they want to do to the people and the attention of His Excellency from giving the people what they deserve from him.
Now that you've heard this clarion call that Labour will not retain the seat, do you have some strategy, so to speak, that you put in place as Labour Party to ensure that votes count, the electorate come out to vote?
I will determine who will be, and like Labour Party will continue to satisfy the yearnings of the people to ensure come 2027 they return the seat. Of course, let us understand that in 2023, APC was there, PDP was there, Labour won the election in Abia State. The same thing will happen again, even more than what we experienced in 2023.
I want to thank you very much, Sir Emmanuel O.T., the chairman of Labour Party in Abia State. Do have a great day. Thank you for coming on. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll take you to Anambra State. Welcome back. Southeast News on Signature TV. You've heard from Abia. You've heard part of the stories from ENUGU. We've gone to Onitsha. We're back to Anambra with our Bureau Chief, Ndu Okbaleze. Good afternoon and welcome to Signature TV Southeast News.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Last week, we were busy looking at how the election schedule will be for local government, and the stakeholders roundtable didn't offer much in terms of only two parties, political parties attended, ABGA and Alliance. Now, given the scenario of what the APC chairman in Anambra State was saying concerning holding a meeting and coming out with a stand on their position, has the situation changed? If it hasn't changed, what is happening in the background? Because I recall that there was one issue you raised, that while the political parties are busy saying a yes or a no, the electorate are happy that something is being done in terms of proper election into the local government areas. So where do we stand in terms of the people and the political parties in Anambra State?
All right. Yeah, the APC meeting and other opposing political parties like LP, they are still insisting that something must be done for them to find a level playing ground, according to them. They are still insisting on that. In fact, the APC threatened to go to court, just like the Labour Party, especially, and others who are still talking on the ground. But one thing is very, very clear. People are desirous of having this election. More and more people are coming out to say that they want the elections to hold. In fact, some are even beginning to look at the opposition as making the noise so that there will be no election. Some, I mean, not all of them. Majority of the people see reason with them that the election is horrid, even though they want the elections to hold. But one other thing is that the body organizing the election, headed by Genevieve Osakwe, a magistrate, she said, she claimed there's no evidence or no notice of court's injunction or whatever served on them. Therefore, that September 28th is sacrosanct, that it must hold, election must hold that day. As a matter of fact, they have gone ahead to advertise for people to apply for jobs, you know, the vacancies like officers for the election, electoral officers, administrative staff, and all whatnot for the conduct of the election. They have pushed out advertisement for that. So that is a show of showing that they mean what they are saying with regards to holding the elections. That's what is on the ground now.
Now, no paper from the courts, which would have made the threats by some of the political parties becoming real. But at this point in time now, apart from those in opposition, some of those in opposition that are insisting that they will go to court, are the others making any form of preparations at all? Or they are just joining the general populace to talk about elections without taking concrete actions to ensure that the timetable is followed? Because if the timetable is not followed, we'll get to a point where the primaries for the various positions like councillorship and chairmanship will not be held by the various political parties.
Oh, yes. Not only the other parties, but even those who are threatening to go to court, they also tell their members to get prepared for any eventuality. So it's not as if they're not preparing for the election. They're preparing while also trying to see whether there'll be some amendments to the timetable and then the issue of the amended election act in the state. So both the ruling party and the opposition parties are gearing up for the elections. Maybe in few days, and maybe by next week it's going to be more interesting, because that's when the timetable. If we go to the offices, the ANSEC office, and discover that they are complying with the scheduled timetable, then it will go a long way to say that the election is coming up. But for now, you cannot say that exactly, because none of the scheduled timetable, by September 7, and from then onwards, we are going to be more sure of what exactly is going to happen. But I tell you that most of them, when they talk to their people, they still tell them, prepare. We are going to court, but get prepared. So it's a double talk, but that's the way it is for now.
You know what?
The umpire is preparing for the election, seriously.
Okay. You know, one of the issues we raised last week concerning the local government election in Anambra State was that of security. Remember that we tied it in with the rampant cases of kidnapping.
Yes.
So, what have you noticed from last week to this week in terms of security measures being tightened so that people can feel safer? Because by the time we get to September 7, when you say we would have a boost in terms of political activities, that may become a big issue.
All right. The security situation in the townships, especially Oka Capital Territory, is getting tighter. You just need a few tools, and you see another road stop and start by the police, and their vehicles are here and there. Then yesterday I had the opportunity of traveling to the hinterland. I got that precisely. In fact, I passed through Mbologu Abo Road, where the incidents of kidnapping of 3 prominent citizens of Mbologu happened last week. I passed that place, and immediately after the local government secretariat, I got the local government secretariat. You see a stationed armored carrier by the road there. It's a warning sign to people that they are ready for any eventuality. And as you move in, you keep seeing roadblocks, unlike what it used to be before. Only that when you get to the innermost part of the hinterlands, you don't, we don't seem to have a lot of physical presence of those security outfits. And the people are not there's that fear and apprehension. It's still there. For instance, the function I went to cover that yesterday, a very big event, but most of the top brass that were invited, either they send their PAs or they take excuse, or some that came, they came with heavy personal security. So you see that there still need to have more of security presence in the villages.
Now, have you got any reports from about those 3 people that were kidnapped along the Mbologu-Akpo Road?
Honestly, nothing new has happened. Nothing new. I keep checking on, and the report I keep getting is that they have not established link with either members of the family or the police or any other relations of the affected people. It's a very special case this time around.
So sad. Well, we just hope that we'll get cheering news concerning them. All right, Undo, I need to say thank you very much for coming on and updating us about Anambra State. Thank you and enjoy your evening.
You're welcome.
It's at this point we'll say thank you for watching Southeast News for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Barik Mado is my name.
You go to some of our public institutions, because you want to, the tuition is free, the laboratories are almost empty. So when you pay money, just like an investor, when you pay, you ask for value. When you see buses in the nation's capital, buses are designed to take 50 passengers. Sometimes you have over 110, 120. That's because they are highly subsidized and free. For me, subsidy, yes, but free, highly no. It shouldn't be free. And this is the only way to be honest, because we're preaching about sustainability. If it is free, we can't sustain it.
If masses are going to be paid, it has to be in a subsidized amount of money. Let the government subsidize it, because major thing we are facing now is a problem of transportation, the high cost of transportation. All of us move from one place to the other, goods and services move from one place to the other, but when the cost for transporting goods and services to where it is needed is highly expensive, it will affect the price of goods and service itself.
Let Innocent produce buses for Nigeria, electric buses, and let them be carrying people all over. 100 naira. Nigerians can afford it. 100 naira. Even if from here to Gawalada, 100 naira. From Ketu in Lagos to Victoria Island, 100 naira. If they do that, the buses, the distance will reduce. You understand me? You set up a charging point where they can go and charge their buses. Like in Lagos now, they have a depot for the buses. Let them go there and charge the buses and be carrying people 100 naira. It will reduce the economy.
A state like Ebonyi State budgeted 68 million to buy SUVs for their state House of Rep members. So if that can be budgeted, state like Benue, Governor Ilya was saying the budget for House of Rep members to acquire a guy is 60 million. That means Nigeria is wealthy. I think transportation can be made free but I don't think these people that are making money from this would like to stop right now. The transport sector is a huge sector of the economy, but then the everyday increase in prices, remember, has not made people to be happy about the transport sector.
Coincidentally, if the governor can instruct the director or the manager of any transport state corporation that any citizen, not only even their citizen, any person that occur that come to their office that are looking for assistance of the transportation from their state to another state or interstate or intrastate, they should be giving them, consider them free or complimentary board ride of transportation from point A to point B. The lower people, the less privileged, the state government should make it, and students, the old people, they should make it free to them.
Really affecting. Like if you can see people moving over there, everybody are trekking, they cannot enter transport because of the cost of transport and all that. People go a long distance, 1 mile, 2 mile trekking because of no money. And not only that, a lot of criminal and all that. I know I have lost out to 4 phone where I was trying to see how I can get a cheaper car because where I want to go, then charge me a lot to take me to that place. The first time I lost my phone, second time I lost my phone. And it's because of hungry, that is why those boys increase in robbery.
Abuja is not working very effectively. You know. Then the government should look into it and provide more. And they can go to countries, other countries, developed countries, go there and get there. They know what to do. And they bring it down, the price. And they also consider the pass also. Because the former one, the urban mass, many of them packed now in the garage. They are not working. And they ask, they say this one has a small issue, this one has a small issue. Which day are they going to visit? So the government need to sit up to put these things in order.
That is voices from the streets, where people express their opinion about different policies of the government. From the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Nasiru Usman, reporting for Signature TV.
You go to some of our public institutions because you want to say tuition is free, the laboratories are almost empty. So when you pay money, just like an investor, when you pay, you ask for value. When you see buses in the nation's capital, buses are designed to take 50 passengers. Sometimes you have over 110, 120. That's because they are highly subsidized and free. For me, subsidy, yes, but free, highly no. It shouldn't be free. And this is the only way to be honest, because we're preaching about sustainability. If it is free, we can't sustain it.
If masses are going to be paid, it has to be in a subsidized amount of money. Let the government subsidize it, because major thing we are facing now is a problem of transportation, the high cost of transportation. All of us move from one place to the other, goods and services move from one place to the other, but when the cost for transporting goods and services to where it is needed is highly expensive, it will affect the price of goods and service itself.
Let Innocent produce buses for Nigeria, electric buses, and let them be carrying people all over 100 naira. Nigerians can afford it. 100 naira. Even if from here to Gawalada, 100 naira. From Ketu in Lagos to Victoria Island, 100 naira. If they do that, the buses, the distance will reduce. You understand me? You set up a charging point where they can go and charge their buses. Like in Lagos now, they have a depot for the buses. Let them go there and charge the buses and be carrying people 100 naira. It will reduce the economy.
A state like Ebonyi State budgeted 68 million to buy SUVs for their state House of Rep members. So if that could be budgeted, state like Benue, Governor Ilya was saying the budget for House of Rep members to acquire a car is 60 million. That means Nigeria is wealthy. I think transportation can be made free, but I don't think these people that are making money from this would like to stop right now. The transport sector is a huge sector of the economy, but then the everyday increase in prices, remember, has not made people to be happy about the transport sector.
Coincidentally, if the governor can instruct the director or the manager of any transport state corporation that any citizen, not only even their citizen, any person that come to their office that are looking for assistance of the transportation from their state to another state, or interstate or intrastate, they should be giving them, consider them free or complimentary board ride of transportation from point A to point B. The lower people, the less privileged, the state government should make it, and students, the old people, they should make it free to them.
Really affecting. Like if you can see people moving over there, everybody are trekking, they cannot enter transport because of the cost of transport and all that. People go a long distance, 1 mile, 2 mile trekking because of no money. And not only that, a lot of criminal and all that. I know I have lost out to 4 phone where I was trying to see how I can get a cheaper car, because where I want to go, then charge me a lot to take me to that place. The first day I lost my phone, second time I lost my phone. And it's because of hungry. That is why those boys increase in robbery. Abuja is not working very effectively. You know. Then the government should look into it and provide more. And they can go to countries, other countries, developed countries, go there and get there. They know what to do. And they bring it down, the price. And they also consider the pass also. Because the former one, the urban mass, many of them packed now in the garage. They are not working. And they ask, they say, this one has a small issue, this one has a small issue. Which day are they going to visit? So the government need to sit up to put these things in order.
That is Voices from the Streets, where people express their opinion about different policies of the government. From the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Nasiru Usman, reporting for Signature TV.
Hello, and welcome to Uncommon Conversations on Citizen Television. We are reaching you from our studios in ENUGU. Of course, ENUGU is the capital of Southeast Nigeria. Since August the 1st, Nigerians, many Nigerians, a cross-section of Nigerians, took to the streets in protests of what they labeled hunger protest. Somebody has called it End Bad Governance protest. The protest that which began like a simple, peaceful protest had snowballed into violence in some parts of the Nigeria, particularly in the northern part of Nigeria. The southern part of Nigeria, however, it remained largely peaceful. But a strange element was added in the northern part of Nigeria, which today is a cause of concern for many Nigerians. And what was that? The introduction of the Russian flag. Many Nigerians have spoken against it. In particular, Professor Kinterenwa and the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, had said that the action was treasonable. Some say, look, during protest, you can wave any flag, any leaf, anything. But the introduction of a foreign flag into a country, largely by some protesters, has raised some eyebrows. And so this evening, joining me in the studio to discuss this is no other person than Maxwell Ngene, PhD. Maxwell is a senior lecturer in the Department of Mass Communication in ENUGU State University of Science and Technology. But much more than that, he's a public affairs analyst and commentator. Dr. Ngene, good evening, and welcome to Uncommon Conversations.
Thank you very much for inviting me to Uncommon Conversations.
Okay, you're not a stranger to Nigeria. You were born, bred, and you live in Nigeria. You witnessed protests in the past. I'm sure even as a comrade, you may have joined in one.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sure. I know those days in the labor market,
yes.
when you were
in Ratau,
that you must have joined or have led.
Yes.
Protest is a legitimate weapon in a democratic setting.
Yes.
The right to protest, for me, is the same thing as the right to vote.
Yes.
You vote because you want to elect leaders. But when you elect leaders and you feel they're not doing what you expect them to do, the other weapon you have is to protest.
Yes.
You've watched what has been going on in Nigeria since August the 1st. What's your take generally on the protest? Remembering that there was almost a 1-month notice, and then, curiously, the introduction of the Russian flag.
Well, thank you very, very much. When we talk about the current situation in our country, it elicits mixed feelings, you know, because some people have been asking why protest? Is protest a constitutional right? But I must say here and now that protests are a healthy component of every democracy. When we talk about democracy, we are talking about government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It's not like a military government that you know is characterized by totalitarianism, autocratic, you know, behaviors. So protesters have the freedom to protest. The only thing is that there must be a thin divide, because when citizens protest against bad governance, against poverty, against hunger, they are trying against injustice, against marginalization, against exclusion, against oppression. One can go on and on. They are merely trying to drive positive change, to trigger change in the behavior, change in the way policies are formulated, trying to bring change in terms of reforms. You will agree with me that the current government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not really right. talking about his entry point during his swearing-in ceremony, you know, where he quickly removed fuel subsidy without giving a proper thought, you know, to, you know, it. Because when you want to change something as huge as that, you need to think it through and through to know what policies, what things you have to do to cushion the harsh effects of such a policy. Because everything in Nigeria, economic, social, is driven by, you know, fuel, by oil, you know, so it's wrong. So I must say that what had become a very worrisome thing in all this thing is the hoisting of the Russian flag. Because it's a new, it's something new. It's not a new normal. It's something new, something strange, something that has made people who are currently holding power to begin to say that some people are doing this because they want to take power, and that there may have been some measure of external influence. It's very worrisome because it threatens national security. National security, like you know, is that process that has to do with the protection of the values, the interests of a nation, whether it's a military interest, whether it's a political interest, their institutions. So now, well, happily, we've heard the Russian embassy in Nigeria dissociating itself from those hoisting the flag, saying that they know nothing about it. We do not know how this came about, but it has now led to a situation where even the Nigerian military, the current government, is saying that that's a treasonable felony. It's a treasonable act that is punishable, and such a punishment is going to be very, very harsh. There are ways of going through protests. Anybody who says that protests are unhealthy is not being honest to himself or herself. We have a right to protest. My insight as a person is that since I was born, I've never seen the kind of hardship Nigerians are facing now. But that does not mean that we should be hoisting the flag of Russia or indeed the flag of any other country. Because to start with, this hoisting of flag has led some scholars to begin to question whether it is whether the current protest is a call for genuine change, or is it just a call for chaos? You understand? Because no right-thinking government, no government worth the name, can stand idly, like President Tinubu said in his broadcast, nationwide broadcast, and watch people destroy, take lives. You know, life is a primary value. Nobody has a right to take the life of the other, except if it is the legitimate court of law that makes such pronouncement. So it is a worrisome situation. But luckily, from what we've seen today, Tuesday, and Wednesday, yesterday, Tuesday, and today, Wednesday, what we've seen is a kind of easing of the protest in some parts of the country. When the president was talking last time, the president said that there were protests in some states. That is not really true. There were protests in most states in Nigeria.
Okay, Dr. Maxwell. It's often been said, rightly or wrongly, that protests or a protest is the voice of the voiceless. The truth is, at risk of not being mathematically accurate,
yes,
over 80% of Nigerians feel that something
it's
unusual
wrong.
is happening in Nigeria. The level of hunger, deprivation, inability to meet certain basic demands, we've never seen it in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Even in the time of
that was the point I was
even
making.
the point of austerity measure.
Shagari era.
So a lot of people are disillusioned, disenchanted, but only these few have come out to speak for the rest of the people. And so that's why they say protest is the voice of the voiceless. But there's something that you just said that I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
You know, Akinterenwa Prof said that people who are carrying those flags would appear to be Nigerians, people from Niger. And that is a very strong accusation.
Accusation.
But most people who saw them believe they were infiltrations. And you know, the military junta in Niger, orchestrated or sponsored or managed or influenced by the Russians. They were interested. So people saw it as a signal
that there could be an extension of
what do you think?
Well, that could be true. I am not a military person. I'm not a security expert, but common sense tells me that there could be truth in it, given also the fact that when Buhari was president of Nigeria, he was extending largesse and goodwill to the Nigerians, because we were told that part of him comes from Niger, as it were, you know, because he said that if we disturb him so much, he will leave Nigeria and go to Niger. I still remember that vividly.
Okay.
However, it is really wrong. I do not know why those who were hoisting Russian flag were doing it, because we know about other superpowers, you know. It's curious enough that it wasn't even the Chinese flag that was being hoisted, nor that of the Americans or the British that colonized us. I don't know where the Russian thing is coming from, but it means that the job of the security agents in Nigeria have been cut out for them. They need to do their work properly through intelligence to find out. It is not really right. It affects our image as a nation. It affects our reputation as a nation. It also is damning for the current government that was promising a new dawn, a new era, because this government was the one that gave birth to the last 8 years of Buhari, which now that Buhari had exited power, Nigerians have described it as the worst government they've seen. But even as it were now, the people are beginning to make a comparison between the current government and the former one, saying that this one appeared to be worse than that of Buhari. So it's neither here nor there. But the point is that
I think it's too early to compare. One,
it's not too early to compare, given the harsh reality on the ground.
Okay. Understand it this way. Sometimes, like in a marriage, some people start badly
and end well.
Some start well and end badly. Perhaps, assuming without conceding, that the government is laying a solid foundation for a future growth and development. At the beginning, just like somebody who has cancer, and you have to go through chemo. Chemo is painful. Go through it for months for you to have a better life. I'm not holding brief. I'm just imagining. Okay?
You're hazarding a guess.
Yes.
An educated guess.
Yes. But let me take you to... Many people thought, they had believed, they were expecting Mr. President to actually prevent that protest. Because these guys gave notice, judicial notice.
Yes.